Good evening. I'm Dennis House reporting live from one of the Super Tuesday states, Massachusetts.
And hi, everyone. I'm Erin Connolly with the rest of the day's news. And Dennis, this could literally be a make or break night for the Democratic candidates.
That is correct. 14 states across America and the American Samoa, our U.S. territory, are voting today. Let's give you a sense of what it looks like here in Springfield, Massachusetts. This is the Boys and Girls Club, and turnout is starting to get a little heavier. We are actually told that it is double so far the total turnout in November when there was a mayoral election back in November here in Springfield. Let's take a closer look at the ballots here. Interestingly enough, the Democratic ballot is in a pinkish red, and the Republican ballot is in blue. There is a Republican ballot. There have been a few Republicans coming out here to vote. Donald Trump is being challenged by 3 other Republicans here, including the former governor of Massachusetts, William Weld. On the Democratic side, we have a host of names that have already dropped out on the ballot today. Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, Deval Patrick, another former Massachusetts governor, on the ballot here, even though he has officially dropped out as well. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Michael Bloomberg, the big names here. We talked to a couple of voters as they left the polls today, and here's what they had to say.
Joe Biden is spending Super Tuesday in the state with the most delegates at stake tonight, California. The former vice president won endorsements from 3 former presidential hopefuls on the eve of primary season's single largest voting day, spanning 14 states and American Samoa.
Get one, Bernie.
Senator Bernie Sanders casts his ballot in his home state of Vermont. Heading into Super Tuesday, Sanders leads in delegates and polling in states with the biggest prizes tonight.
We have the grassroots movement all over this country. Up to now, we have knocked on, I believe, some 2 million doors all across this country, from Maine to California.
While the 11th hour departure of 2 candidates could start to consolidate party moderates, voters remain divided over who should top the Democratic ticket.
I admire Bernie very much, and I think that he has the best shot at getting the current president out of the office.
After seeing who was left, I felt like Joe Biden was our safe bet.
But gambling on an unorthodox approach, billionaire Mike Bloomberg. He skipped earlier contests and bet big on Super Tuesday. Now he's already in Florida, which votes later this month.
You don't have to win states, you have to win delegates.
Do you want a contested convention?
Well, I don't think that I can win any other ways.
Senator Elizabeth Warren has also hinted at a contested convention. She voted in her home state, Massachusetts, this morning.
I'm here today because I believe in you.
She spends the evening in Michigan, one of several states voting next week.
We're having some trouble getting you that voter sound that we recorded earlier, but I can tell you that about half the people I spoke with are voting for Joe Biden, the other half for Bernie Sanders. We didn't have anybody supporting Elizabeth Warren, at least no one who wanted to talk about it. Amy Klobuchar also got a vote from a man who said, I'm voting for her anyway, even though she dropped out. Now, our chief Capitol reporter, Susan Raff, has been crisscrossing Massachusetts today. She began in Northampton, and here's what she found there.
I'm Susan Raff in Northampton, Massachusetts. It is Super Tuesday. 14 primaries are being held today, and there's a lot at stake. A third of the delegates, and we have seen some big changes in the past 24 hours. Pete Buttigieg is out, and Amy Klobuchar. They are now pledging their support behind Joe Biden, and Joe Biden seems to be picking up more steam. As for Elizabeth Warren, this is her home state, but Bernie Sanders has been doing a lot of campaigning here, and he is hoping to win today.
We'll have to wait and see what happens. There are many Massachusetts connections on the ballot. We already talked about William Weld and Deval Patrick. Well, Michael Bloomberg grew up outside of Boston, and Elizabeth Warren, of course, moved to Boston, later taught at Harvard, and then later ran and won the Senate seat here. We'll have much more from Susan coming up. She is in the city of Boston right now. That's all coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 6. I'll throw it back to you in the studio, Erin.
All right, Dennis, thank you very much. Certainly much more to come on this busy Tuesday night. We will check back in with you in a few. And keep it right here for continuing coverage on Super Tuesday. Coming up at 5:30, we will have a live report from Alabama with an update on how voting is going there.